Hello everyone, how's it going? It's your boy Skilled Fawn, and we're back doing another challenge run. This time I'm excited to be showing off Sekiro Shadows Die Twice. This is the first challenge run on Sekiro. So yeah, let's get straight on into the rules. So in this challenge run, we're going to be doing attack power 1. So very similar to like soul level 1 or rune level 1. So in Sekiro, it's a bit different. Instead of like you see like all of your various stats like intelligence, vitality, and all that stuff. There's only like two different stats that you can level up. You can get prayer beads, and that will bring up your vitality and your maximum posture. But then you can also level up your attack power. And obviously with higher attack power means that you'll deal more damage. So glitches and or exploits are allowed, and we don't have to kill every boss. We just have to beat the main game. So let's jump straight on into this. We're going to start, and we're going to go and talk to Kuro. And that's basically our master. And we're going to get the katana. And we're going to head on over to the secret passageway, and we're gonna go fight Genichiro. And this very first fight, you are supposed to lose, and if you do beat it somehow, especially like a fresh game, then he will just still cut off your arm. So it doesn't really matter as much. In my road to New Game Plus 7, whenever I get to this point, I'll just let him uh, take me down just because it's a lot quicker than actually fighting him. But he is very cool. I have to potentially fight him later on. Makes sense because he did take us down. You can see I basically have like 2 health, so it doesn't really matter. But we're gonna talk to the sculptor and get our shinobi prosthetic. And that is the one unique thing about Sekiro compared to the other games, is you generally only, or you really only have one like weapon, I guess, and that is your katana, but you have a bunch of secondary weapons. So just picked up the shuriken wheel. I'm able to throw shurikens, and we are very close to a few others. Eventually we'll get this axe, this shinobi axe. We'll get the Sabimaru. And yeah, it's definitely a lot easier when you fight any boss with a sword. Definitely, like, one thing I had a ton of trouble when I started playing this game for the first time was Guardian Ape and some like the other bosses that don't have swords. It's just gonna be quite tough. But we do take down this general. We're gonna get a prayer bead, but also a gourd seed. And the gourd seeds will allow me to heal more because it gives an extra charge to my flasks. And this is the reason why it's called Sekiro Shadows Die Twice. This is like if you've never played any of the From Software games, this is much different than Dark Souls, Elden Ring, all that stuff. Usually in Dark Souls, Elden Ring, whatever, if you die, you just die. You'll have to go from the race or the fireplace. But in here, when you die, you actually get a second life. You can see in the bottom left that is denoted by that pink symbol. I technically have 2 resurrection nodes, but you can get a third. We're gonna take down Chain Ogre's first phase, send him on into phase 2. And yeah, Chain Ogre is quite difficult just because usually if he grabs you, you're gonna be dead. So you just always have to watch out for that attack. Just like that, we take him down. We're gonna get another prayer bead, and then keep heading on. And though I did say that I'm not going to kill like every boss, you'll see on the VODs channel, if you guys want to watch the full stream, I definitely kill a lot more bosses than I make it out to be. Just because I would like as many of the prayer beads as possible so I don't die as quickly. And yeah, very, very similar to like any SL1 run. Or like, you know, RL1 run, is that you're going to have just very, very low damage. But the good thing is with this game is because, you know, the stats are actually, you know, separate. Like it's not under the umbrella of all the stats. You can actually level up vitality and posture. It's not actually a part of attack power. That's not something you could do in like Elden, Dark Souls, whatever. So yeah, we're gonna take down our first, I guess, big boss, and we're gonna do a sick shinobi execution. And we're also gonna get the mechanical barrel. This will help us and improve our shinobi prosthetics. And we're also gonna head into the temple. We're gonna push Armored Warrior off the bridge, and he's gonna scream his son's name and keep on progressing. The good thing though is there are like a lot more prosthetics in Senpu Temple. I think that's how you pronounce it, or Senpo. But there's also a lot that I did miss. But I wanted to show off here so you can see how there's enhanced physical attributes and then enhanced attack power. So we're going to be using the prayer beads for the physical attributes because it's not upgrading my attack power. If I did confront a memory, that would be upgrading my attack power, and that would be against the rules. So that's not what we're going to do. But we're going to go and see Genichiro and Kuro and Emma, of course. But yeah, I definitely do have to say, as much as Sekiro is different from other From Software games, I do really, really enjoy it. Though I wish that, you know, you could swap out your main weapon a little bit more. Especially if you beat the game or something, like, or I know in like the Shura ending, you get Owl's weapon. That would be so sick if you could use that. But we're gonna get him to phase 2 now, and though he only has 2 of those red dots in the top left, he does have 3 phases. The one thing that attack power, it kind of sucks, is especially like compared to a normal run, is like in a normal run, when you do block or parry and you do attack, you deal a lot more posture damage. Like it takes at least half, if not like maybe a third of the time. Because, I mean, at least in my like New Game Plus runs, I mean, though I'm very like over leveled, it does take like an extremely quick time. Even just like in my prosthetic-less run, everything took a lot less time. But that is the reason why I'm gunning for the Mortal Blade, just because even though we're going to be doing very little damage, that will give me a lot more damage. And especially it does like blocking damage, which is really nice. So if the enemy like exactly parries it, you'll still hit through them. That's also going to be a massive thing with bosses, is any status effect. Mostly lightning is very like situational, and like not many bosses have it. Basically Genichiro, and then like the final boss. There's some in um, the divine realm, like right before the divine dragon. The name of that area is it's on the tip of my tongue, but I just can't remember it. But we're gonna go back and talk to Kuro now that we saved him from Genichiro. Yeah, we must obey the Iron Code. That's what our father taught us, Owl. And yeah, I mean, maybe not in this run yet, but um it's just quite interesting how like you are able to come back so many times. Um and it's not like Dark Souls or some of the other ones where like if you keep respawning, your character goes hollow. It's kind of the opposite. Instead of you, it like starts to deteriorate everyone else around you. So like the more times you die, you'll see like some of the merchants, some of the like player or like NPCs that you talk to, like the sculptor, they'll slowly start to die. Though I'm actually not entirely sure if they can die from dragon rot. Um, Maybe they probably can. I wouldn't see why not, but it must just take an extremely long time, and like if the player doesn't actually heal the dragon rot. So, but yeah, it's never happened to me. I played this game a decent amount. Definitely not as much as some of the other games, but quite a bit. I think my goal for this channel and a lot of my challenge runs are to eventually do like a hit list for each of the games, and then also to get all the achievements for the games. Though like I'll probably do the achievements first and then the hit list just so I get a little bit extra practice beforehand. But this is easily one of the coolest cutscenes in the game, and we are gonna gaze upon the mortal blade, trying to claim it as one of our own. And yeah, it looks like the mortal blade was not ours, but obviously you guys know that we're able to resurrect. So yeah, we're gonna claim the blade. It's gonna be ours, and we're gonna keep on progressing. I do have to say, Sekiro, one of the reasons why I play this game is just for the mortal blade. Like the concept of it is the sickest thing. Obviously there's like other games even within the soulsborne that have like this concept. I mean that dagger in Elden Ring that has the rune of death imbued in it, similar concept, but not actually, because it did not kill Godwin. But oh gosh, the mortal blade is just so sick. It would be really interesting if you could use that second one that Genichiro has later on. Maybe there's like a mod for it or something, but where you could like dual wield. I think unfortunately this game is gonna be in like the same realm as Bloodborne. You know, you got like all these fans like asking, begging for a second game, and you know, it's unfortunately probably not going to happen. Though like Bloodborne, a lot more people are just asking for a remaster, which I completely get. It is a somewhat old game. Not terribly old, but you know, it's definitely you can notice it. I think it's mostly just the frames with Bloodborne, if I remember correctly. I think it's 30 FPS. That was one thing I noticed a lot when I was playing. It's just like stuff with the graphics, not like the actual like environment at all, but it's just like you know, the rendering. I do love the whole setting of Bloodborne. Even though it's not my favorite From Software game, it is really cool. But yeah, you can just see that Lady Butterfly is super easy. Surprisingly, she is one of the bosses I have had the most experience with. Just because, like, in the past, whenever I would play this game, I would always come here. Though you actually don't need to come here. This is a completely optional area. But I figured it would be nice to have that third resurrection node, just because some of these later bosses are going to be quite difficult and insane. And with Lady Butterfly down, we're going to start progressing to the other areas. Though this next area / other areas are kind of connected in a way. So we're going to be going for Corrupted Monk and the Ape. We're going to have to take out this long-armed centipede giraffe, which I don't know why I'd never picked up on its name before, but it's just so funny that it's called the giraffe. But yeah, basically this boss, you just have to parry him over and over and then do that jump attack. You don't actually attack him. And once you do this, you'll be able to build this stagger bar up and get a few riposts. And just like that, we're going to keep on continuing. And like I mentioned, we're going to take out the ape. Now, this ape is quite difficult just because most enemies in this game, they do have a katana or some type of a sword. So it's a bit easier to parry them. But, you know, with this boss and a few others that don't have a weapon, it can just be really tough. But a lot of the beast creatures are weak to that firecracker attack, and they're also very weak to flame. So it can work out quite nicely if you have those prosthetics. And yeah, you can just see how abysmal my damage is. But this was one of the big problems I was just running into, was that grab attack. It was killing me like every time. So very unfortunate. And I'm sure you can probably parry it. I'm just so crap at that timing. At least for that attack. But for the most part, he's actually decently easy to dodge. It's just that one attack. I definitely now know that when he slams his right hand down, at least like once or twice, he's going to do it. Even before that symbol pops up. And also, one thing I should have been using a little bit was the Mortal Blade right here. But I just wasn't sure, just because it does cost spirit points. So I figured maybe it wouldn't be a bad idea to use all my prosthetics, and then if I want to, I could use the Mortal Blade. Because obviously when I'm out, it's going to deal a lot less damage. But you can see right here, this is after many attempts, but you can see I'm starting to get really good at dodging that grab attack. And Sekiro is definitely one of those extremely stylish games. It's just so cool. But we're like one hit, not even, from sending him off into the next phase. And this fight, very similar to like Sister Frida and Father Ariandel. When you take out his first phase, you get the Shinobi Execution pops up. And yeah, you're just not expecting a phase 2. But in this next phase, kind of difficult, but also a bit easier in certain ways. The thing that makes it more difficult is it can do terror damage now, and that will kill you even if your health, you still have like a decent amount. But The good thing is it does have the parry. He's using the sword, so you can actually parry him really easily. And it builds it up a lot faster compared to first phase where I had to take down his entire health bar. And in any run, I highly recommend like using something to upgrade your weapon. You know, whether that be in Elden Ring, some resin or something like that. But in Sekiro, there's really only the divine confetti, and it's usually, or it's mostly made for the apparition bosses like Corrupted Monk. But even if you use them on like any boss, you're just gonna get extra damage, so it's very worthwhile. So we're just gonna keep on dodging him, parry him. And if you're ever having any trouble with these bosses, because I mean, I know I sure as hell did. I mean, depending on the boss, if it's this boss or at least like his first phase, I just recommend like hit and run strategy, like first phase, and then second phase, try and just keep getting that massive slam down so you can do damage. And yeah, definitely if you guys have any questions, ask in the comments. I'm more than happy to help. Though I may not have a lot of guides on my channel, I will always try and help you guys out if you have any questions. And just in general, I read the comments, so I'll respond to you guys, whether it's a question or not. But we got Corrupted Monk. And yeah, this fight, I'm definitely not the best at parrying. Same as like with Bloodborne, I was not the best at just dodging 100%. I don't know, it's kind of weird. It's just like in Dark Souls and Elden Ring, I like it because you know, you have a lot, in Demon Souls, you have a lot more variety with the way that you go about bosses, but Sekiro and Bloodborne, it's very specific, though, you know, there is variety to them. I'm just quite bad at parrying Corrupted Monk, is basically what I'm just trying to say. So this fight took a ridiculous amount of time, a lot of attempts, but eventually I was able to, I think it's her, I was able to kill her. And yeah, unfortunately, we do have another version of Corrupted Monk, one that's way worse because it's got 3 phases instead of 1. Though it does have a lot more cheeses that we're able to do to it. And so this is the point, or the part of the game where you are able to end the game right here, basically. You could obey your father and forsake Kuro, and you just have to fight like 2 bosses right then and there, and that's it. But we're gonna go with, I guess, the good ending. There's like 5 different endings for this, so I don't really... There's probably one that's like a good ending. But yeah, so this way that I'm choosing, we're gonna have to fight Owl, and then Divine Dragon, and Sword Saint Ishin. But yeah, Owl and I would say Ishin, the last boss, took the longest out of any of the boss fights in this game. I'm not sure what it was about them, but it was just messing with my soul. And usually with boss fights, I like to do like one of those attacks where you just actually like stab them instead of slicing. And the way you do that is you just hold the attack button and you'll do like a jab at them. But specifically with Owl, if you do a jab, he can actually Makiri counter you and just basically insta-kill you, so it's just not worth it. But yeah, I had to find the right optimal strategy for this. I'm sure you could tell by the timer, it did take quite a long time in between this attempt and the last attempt I showed. So I was just developing what I wanted to do. This phase 2 is actually, I don't know if I would say easier, but it's just a lot different. Where you are able to get some more attacks in, and he changes some of his attacks up. But that's one thing I did try and get really good at, was just not taking any hits, or if I did, it being like very little, just because whenever he does that like healing bomb attack, I am going to hit him. It's basically like free damage right there, and I could go behind him, but I'm able to get at least like 2 hits, you know, whatever. And yeah, the good and bad thing about challenge run like AP1 is that you build the stagger bar / posture bar so slowly, but by the time that you do actually, or you are able to do the execution, the boss is just not gonna have any health. Or at least the way I was playing it, that's what happened. But we're gonna go fight Corrupted Monk. And yeah, this was another boss that did take a little bit of time, but not as much as Ishin or Owl. It's mostly just getting the cheese right. If you jump off this cliff at the right moment where Corrupted Monk is doing an attack, the monk will actually become stuck. You're able to just keep hitting her over and over. But you obviously have to watch out for when the monk attacks. And yeah, just like every other boss, it's going to take quite a long time. It at least triples, if not quadruples, the amount of time that it usually should take. So yeah. Though I would say, kind of funny, I would say like RO1 plus 0, or like possibly SO1 plus 0 in Demon Souls is a lot closer to AP1 than like RO1 or SO1. Just because even RO1 in Elden Ring, you can be ridiculously overpowered. It's actually absurd. Like in Elden Ring and Dark Souls, Demon Souls, they give a lot of options to the player. But you know, in Sekiro, you can't equip any rings, or like really a lot of things that increase your damage. It's only your attack power. Since we're not leveling that, it's quite difficult. But we get Corrupted Monk back in his or her cheese spot, and we're gonna slowly dwindle her down. Takes so long. And yeah, this boss does have a decent amount of unblockable attacks. Right, I forget what they're actually called, like deadly attacks, but we do take her down, and we're gonna head further into this zone. And very shortly, too, we will be getting the ceremonial, I think Tonto is what it's called. Basically what that does is, you see in the bottom right, I have a number kind of next to this T icon. That's something called Spirit Emblems. And that's actually what charges or gives you the ability to use your prosthetics. And some of your actual combat moves too, like the Mortal Blade. But when you don't have any Spirit Emblems, whatever combat art you do will deal less damage, and you won't actually be able to use some of the prosthetics. we're gonna take down the last of the old dragons, and we're gonna fight the divine dragon now. And yeah, quite funny because you know, coming from someone who plays Elden Ring quite a lot compared to the other ones, uh, basically just a very slow Elden beast. You know, it's quite easy, and it's also, you know, one of these like puzzle gimmicky bosses, more so like cinematic than the actual fight, I would say. But now we get the divine dragon into its quote-unquote, or we're about to get him into his quote-unquote phase 2. Basically, like, right as you are about to kill him, he'll phase transition, he'll get rid of all those trees, and he'll go beast mode. I am quite surprised that they did leave this move till like the very, very end, but it is so cool. Especially some of his attacks, I don't know, he does this like little twirl, and it makes it seem like he's gonna do another attack, but yeah, he can be quite difficult right here if you're not looking out. But he is so cool. A very cool but quick boss fight, so we are gonna take the dragon down. And we're gonna get those dragon tears. This is what we need for Kuro to actually get rid of the immortal. We gotta sever the immortal people. And I think with I honestly forget a little bit what the dragon tears exactly do, but I know that you give them to her at the end, or him at the end, I should say. But we go back to, I guess, the shrine in this game, which is the main tower, and we find that Ishin is dead, this version of him, and that Kuro went to the moat that we went to at the beginning of the game. And here at this moat, we're going to find Genichiro and Lord Kuro. And yeah, Genichiro does have the second Mortal Blade, which is pretty damn cool. That's one thing I'm quite surprised they didn't include, was that second Mortal Blade, even if it was just the same move set as you know, the first one. It would have been really cool just to get that like black and white animation it has. You know, I'm sure some mods or something have that. But yeah, this fight, definitely, if you do try this, it's gonna give you the most trouble. I mean, I'm sure if you're a lot more experienced than I am, it will be a lot easier. But I gave this boss fight a ton of tries. I'm sure you'll see in the timer differences between the scenes, but it was mostly when Ishin actually pulled out his spear in second phase. That was when I really had the most trouble. That in his third phase. Though the saving grace about the third phase is he does have lightning, so it's just a lot easier. But yeah, I keep getting my ass absolutely handed to me. Genichiro made sure he was very, very generous when he was doing that. But yeah, oh gosh. Actually, that was hilarious. But yeah, after this fight, I got insanely good at Ishin's first phase. And that's what really helped me once I did the Shura ending for New Game, or Road to New Game Plus 7. Made it a lot quicker. But yeah, So let's move straight on into the final run of this. So usually what I'd like to do is run up to Genichiro and just start wailing on him. At the beginning, I would use the Mortal Blade for Genichiro. And like I had a whole different playstyle, but then I was just having like insane amount of trouble with this second phase. So I had to, figure something out, look something up. And I did eventually find this really good strategy where you use the Sabimaru for his second phase, and it basically just, bypasses it. It does take quite a long time just because of how much health he does have, but it is, quite manageable. We do get Genichiro down to phase, he's down now. And we're gonna take out Ishin. You might be like, Skilled Fallen, how the hell did Ishin come out? Well, basically Genichiro cut himself with the Mortal Blade, and in the lore, that second Mortal Blade is like a gateway to the Netherworld, or hell. So yeah, somehow. But yeah, this fight is just so cool. I love his phase 1. I kind of dislike his phase 2 and 3, but his phase 1 is just really cool. I'm sure after, I play him a little bit more and play this game more, because, I've taken quite a break from this game. I'm sure I'll get good at it again. We do eventually get him down to phase 2. And you could do a couple things here. Right at the beginning, if you do keep attacking him, he won't take out his spear right away. You could get some good hits in. But we're just going to do the route that I mentioned, which is just poison him over and over. And this is one reason why, too, I did want to get that ceremonial Tonto, I think it's called. So I can actually get more of the spirit emblems. And yeah, I was getting punished quite a lot. It's a lot different than, well, different and similar to like the other FromSoft games, where like if you get hit once, you could potentially die, but 2 hits will usually always kill you, especially late game bosses. So yeah, I had to, manage my flasks perfectly, make sure I didn't take too much damage, just because I knew in third phase, that he was going to do his lightning attacks. That would slowly dwindle my health down. But yeah, that is Sekiro Attack Power 1 completed. It was definitely a very hard challenge. I don't know if I would say it was the toughest, but yeah, very tough. It was quite nice that I did have a lot of tools at my disposal. Even if it wasn't necessarily a ton of damage, I did have a lot, going for me. It wasn't, I mean, even though the fights do take a ridiculous amount of time, I still think RO 1+0 is a lot harder, but yeah, maybe if you guys really enjoy this run, maybe I will do a AP1 prayer bead run, where I just don't level up attack power and like my health and posture. I think that would be really interesting. But yeah, we're gonna kneel before the divine air. And while this cutscene is playing, I'll be talking a little bit about what's coming up, like things you can expect. So we do have some Demon Souls, a shield only run. Now I will say this: I haven't been getting a ton of interaction on the Demon Souls stuff, compared to some of my other content like Dark Souls 3 or Elden Ring. So, I've been thinking about it a lot, and I'm considering just, uh, I don't know if I'd say scrapping it, but I think I may just not do Demon Souls for a little bit. Maybe if you guys really, really want, a run and there's like a large outcry for it, then I will. But I think for now, I'm just gonna stick to like Sekiro, DS3, DS1, and Elden. It seems like those are the that's like the type of content that you guys enjoy the most. Um, so yeah, and then we've also got I've been saying this for a little bit, but we do have RL1 plus 0. I've been editing that for quite a long time. Very similar to my Nuzlocke challenge. It's like a ridiculous amount of time. I think like similar to how long this one took, but I would say like 20 hours ish, and if not a little bit more for RO1 plus 0. But I just want to make sure I include everything and whatnot, and so yeah, I'm very excited to be bringing you guys the Elden Ring DLC when that comes out, which is June 21st. But that's quite a bit of ways, a few months. Oh yeah, we do have a lot more Sekiro type stuff coming out. Uh, we obviously have this challenge run, but we got a prosthetics list run where I can't use any of the Shinobi stuff. And then we also got New Game Plus 7, Demon Bell, and Charmless. I'm currently working through that right now. So yeah, you guys should see that fairly soon. But I do greatly appreciate you guys coming and watching the video. Have a safe day. And yeah, do something nice for someone. Skilled Fawn out.